Hello guys, this is Professor Sarah. Welcome to my class again. So last time we finished all the listening and speaking activities of what happened to etiquette. Today we're going to start a new chapter, so please open to page 118, and this is Unit 6. Okay, so let's read the title together. What's the title of Unit 6? It's Everyday Heroes. Okay. So we're going to look at the picture and go over 3 questions. Okay, when you answer 3 questions, remember last time we talked about WH. When you answer, please try to use WH so you can answer in full sentences and in details. Okay, so now let's open the book and go over the questions and picture together.
Everyday heroes. Number 1. Look at the photo. How do you think the people feel? How is the man helping the child? Okay, so let's look at the photo. What is he doing? The man is holding the child tightly and he's looking at the child. I think the man is worried about the child. Maybe something dangerous happened to the boy and he tried to save him. Or he is trying to take care of the boy. Do you have any different idea? Okay. Please make sentences and describe the picture. Maybe if you use WH, you can describe it better. Okay, what's WH again? WH is what, when, where, who, and why, and how. Right? So you can describe the picture based on these information too. Number 2, what are some reasons that people help others in need? What are some reasons that people don't help others? So some people help, others. Some people don't help others. What's the reason? Let me think about it. So maybe some people like to help people because they think it's the right thing to do. Or some people like to help others because that makes them happy. For others who don't help, people, they think helping others it's wasting time, wasting their energy, or maybe it's too dangerous. The reason can be varied, right? I'd like to hear your opinion too. So please think about it and speak out and answer number 2 question. Number 3. What does the word hero mean to you? What is an everyday hero? What are some ways that people can be heroes in everyday life? Okay, so hero can be somebody really special. But everyday hero can be someone very normal. Maybe it can be, someone you can see or meet in your daily life. So for example, in everyday life, some people can be hero, maybe by helping others, right? Maybe you see a grandma or old woman who is carrying a heavy, stuff on the street and you're trying to help her. Then you can be a hero. So it doesn't have to be something really big. It can be, something tiny, but if you're willing to help someone, maybe you can be a hero to that person. Okay, so we talk about 3 questions, number 1, 2, and 3. Please pause the video and answer these questions. I'd like to hear your own opinion.
Okay, how was it? So everybody has their own hero. Hero can be somebody really special, maybe from the movie like Marvel, but your hero can be also a person that you meet in your daily life. Some people say your mom, your mother is your hero. Some people say that, oh, your teacher is hero. So everybody has their own hero. And the definition of a hero can be different by just people's perspective. For example, it can be someone who's really strong physically, but it can be also someone who, always, encourage you, and who's always, there to support you. I have my own hero, and in my daily life, my hero always supports me and just motivates me to just take new actions for new challenges of my life. Okay, good. So now let's open to the next page. So we're gonna open to page 120 and go over the script. Okay, so let's look at page 120. Listening 1, the subway hero. Read and listen to the column from a student newspaper about heroes. Notice the bold-faced words and phrases. Try to guess their meanings. Okay, so what's the title? Title of this script is What Does It Take to Be a Hero? What does it take to be a hero? So to be a hero, what does it take? What does it take means what do you need? So what do you need, or what do you need to become a hero? This is the passage that we're going to go over together. Okay, so let's go into more details.
Page 120. Vocabulary.
What Does It Take to Be a Hero? By Courtney Smith. We can all think of heroes in our lives, but did you ever think about what it really takes to be a hero? What does someone have to do to become a hero? Well, in my opinion, there are 4 characteristics of a hero. First of all, heroes help others in need. For example, a hero may help someone in a dangerous situation, or a hero may provide a service to people who live in their community who need help. In addition, heroes make the choice to help out because they want to, not because it is required or because someone told them to do it. Third, heroes help others even when there are risks. This means that heroes will help even in situations where there is a chance that they will get hurt or something bad will happen to them as a result of their actions. Finally, heroes help others even when there is no reward for their actions. They don't do good things because they want to get something for themselves in return. They just help because they believe it is the right thing to do. For example, take the story of Lori Eldridge. One day, Ms. Eldridge was outside in her garden when she looked up and saw a car stuck on some nearby train tracks. Inside the car was an 81-year-old woman who didn't notice there was a train coming toward her. Ms. Eldridge reacted quickly. She ran to the car and pulled the woman out of it just before the train arrived. The car was destroyed, but it turned out that the woman, Angeline Pascucci, was okay. Lori Eldridge didn't think her actions were brave. She said she just did what any ordinary person would do. However, the people in her community disagreed. They praised her actions and gave her an award to thank her for her courage. To me, Lori Eldridge is a hero because she risked her own life to help someone else in need. In the end, she didn't expect anything for herself. Just knowing she helped another person was reward enough for her.
Okay, so we listened to the passage. Now we're going to go over one more time with me. So I'm going to read with you slowly. So please listen carefully, and we're going to interpret and understand this passage together. Okay. Also, you have to pause the video and you have to read out, speak out from the beginning to the end of the whole passage. Okay, so let's read it together. What does it take to be a hero? It's by Courtney Smith. We can all think of heroes in our lives, but did you ever think about what it really takes to be a hero? What does someone have to become a hero? Well, in my opinion, there are 4 characteristics of a hero. Okay, so what is this introduction talking about? So everybody has different perspectives on hero. The definition can be different. But hero is someone maybe you meet in a daily life, and there are 4 characteristics of a hero, and that's what this passage is going to talk about. First of all, heroes help others in need. For example, a hero may help someone in a dangerous situation, or a hero may provide a service to people who live in their community who need help. So first, hero helps someone. In addition, heroes make the choice to help out because they want to, not because it is required or because someone told them to do it. Okay, so what's the second characteristic of a hero? Hero make the choice because they want. It's not like, they're just mandatory work, but they like to help people. They want to do it. Okay, that's the second characteristic. Okay, third, heroes help others even when there are risks. Sometimes the situation can be dangerous and there are some risks, but they don't mind about it. They don't care about it, and they still want to help people. This means that heroes will help even in situations when there is a chance that they will get hurt or something bad will happen to them as a result of their actions. So for example, a lot of people say firefighter. It's maybe they are heroes in their life. They try to, take the risk to save someone's life, right? Next, finally, heroes help others even when there is no reward for their actions. They don't do good things because they want to get something for themselves in return. They just help because they believe it is the right thing to do. So that they are not waiting or they are not asking for a reward. Okay? They always just take an action and try to help people because they think it's the right thing to do. For example, take the story of Lori Eldridge. One day, Miss Eldridge was outside in her garden when she looked up and saw a car stuck on some nearby train tracks. Inside the car was an 81-year-old woman who didn't notice there was a train coming towards her. Okay, so there is an example. So what did she do? Let's talk about it in more details. Miss Eldridge reacted quickly. She ran to the car and pulled the woman out of it just before the train arrived. It was really dangerous situation. She could, get hurt by the train. The train was coming quick, but she moved really quick to save 81-year-old woman who was in the car, right? She didn't notice the train was coming, so she tried to help and save her. The car was destroyed, but it turned out that the woman, Angeline Pascuzzi, was okay. Lori Eldridge didn't think her actions were brave. She didn't think, oh, it's a special action. She says she just did what any ordinary person would do. However, the people in her community disagree. They praise her actions and give her a word to thank her for her courage. To me, Lori Eldridge is a hero because she risked her own life to help someone else in need. In the end, she didn't expect anything for herself. Just knowing she helped another person was reward enough for her. Yeah, so she has all the 4, different characteristics to become a hero, right? The first one was she helps people in need. Second, she made the choice, to help because she wanted to do. Number 3, there were risks, but she took the risk to help people. And lastly, she thought that it's the right thing to do. Any ordinary people would do it, so it wasn't a special behavior for her. Okay, so pause the video. Okay, read out from the beginning. Okay, again, and try to understand. Okay, let's move on to page 121. So we're going to match the definition and vocabularies together from the passage that we just went over. So write each boldface word or phrase from the text next to its definition or synonym. So what's synonym? For example, manner and etiquette, they are synonym. Courteous, polite, they are synonym. So words, look different, but they have the same definition. That's synonym. So we're going to match the words, okay, together from number 1 to 9. So what words So there are some words in boldface or phrase from the passage. For example, community, risk, the right thing, reacted, turned down, brave, ordinary, praised, and courage. Okay. Please match the definitions on the right side and the words from the passage together. Okay, please pause the video. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes and then we're going to check the answer together. Okay, did you check all of your answers? Okay, good job. Now let's move on to next page, 122. Number 1, listen to the whole program, create a chart like the one below to take notes. So now you're familiar with taking notes and you know how to do it. What's the basic skills of taking notes? The basic one is key points, right? So you're writing key points. You don't have to write in full sentences or all the details, right? Just important details and my main ideas. That will be the key point of your notes. Okay, so like the charts, main idea, meaning of hero, okay, details, superheroes, famous people who do great things, everyday people who help others. Okay, so they are, very short, simple sentences. So while you're listening, okay, please take your notes down, okay, and we're going to check the notes together. How was it? It was pretty long and not easy to follow all of the details and contents of the listening activity. So we're going to listen one more time. Okay, please fill all the notes and the charts. Okay, so let's listen one more time.
Page 122. Listen.
What does the word hero mean to you? Maybe you think of superheroes or famous people who do great things. But what about everyday, ordinary people who help others? Are they heroes too? We begin tonight's program in New York, where Brad Peck has the story of the ordinary man that many people are now calling a hero.
It was a Tuesday afternoon at about 12:45, and subway riders were waiting on the platform for their train to arrive.
I was standing there waiting for my train when suddenly a young man fell down on the platform. A man and two women went over and helped him to get up. But then he fell down again, right onto the tracks.
The young man who fell onto the tracks that day was 20-year-old college student Cameron Holopater.
So this guy was just lying there on the tracks, and he couldn't get up. And then I saw that a train was coming. And then this man, I couldn't believe it, he just jumped down right onto the tracks.
The man who jumped onto the tracks was Wesley Autry, a 50-year-old construction worker who was waiting for a train with his two young daughters, ages 4 and 6. When he saw Mr. Holopater fall, he reacted immediately. He left his daughters with a woman on the platform, then jumped onto the subway tracks to help Mr. Holopater.
So at first, he tried to get the young guy back onto the platform, but he couldn't do it. So he pushed him into the small space between the tracks, and he lay down on top of him and held him down to keep him under the train. The train was coming fast into the station, and I just covered my eyes and waited. I thought they were both going to die.
The subway train arrived just 6 seconds after Wesley Autry jumped down on the tracks. 5 cars passed over the top of the two men less than 2 inches above Mr. Autry's head before it came to a stop.
It all happened so fast. I was afraid to open my eyes, but then I heard the man's voice from under the train calling out, "We're okay." They were both okay. It was amazing. The train passed right over both of them.
By acting quickly and holding the man down under the train, Wesley Autry saved Cameron Holopater's life. Richard, another subway rider who saw what happened, praised Mr. Autry's actions.
It was such a brave thing to do. I was just standing there on the platform. I couldn't move. It took a lot of courage for him to jump onto the train tracks like that. That guy should definitely get a reward for what he did.
Another subway rider, Emily, was concerned about the risk Mr. Autry took by leaving his 2 young daughters behind when he jumped onto the tracks.
I thought about those 2 young girls. They saw their daddy jump onto the tracks. I thought, would they lose their daddy right then and there? Oh my gosh, I'm just glad it turned out all right.
Later, when Mr. Autry was asked why he did it, he said he just saw someone who needed help and he did what he felt was right. He also thanked his mother, saying that she raised him to believe we should help people whenever we can. He didn't worry about getting hurt. He just thought about saving Cameron Holopater from that train.
So, it seems Wesley Autry doesn't see himself as a hero, just an ordinary guy who did the right thing. That may be true, but people in this community are now calling Wesley Autry the subway hero.
Okay, so we check the key points of your notes together and compare your answer and my answer as an example together. Now let's go to the next activity, main ideas. We're still on the page of 122, okay? And I'm going to read the instructions. Okay, please focus on it together. All of the statements contain some false information. Use your notes to help you correct the statements. Cross out the parts that are false and write the correct information. Some statements can be corrected in more than one way. Okay, let's look at an example together. Subway riders were waiting on the train. Is it true or not? Okay, so subway riders were waiting on the platform is the correct statement. Okay, so number 1 to 4, there are 4 statements that include false informations. Please check it, okay, carefully, and we're going to correct the false information to the truth part. Okay, so let's look at number 1. A young woman named Cameron Holpeter fell on the subway tracks. Number 2, Wesley Altree jumped onto the tracks and pulled Cameron Holpeter back onto the platform. Number 3, the 2 men got hurt by the subway train. Number 4, Wesley Altree thinks he's a hero. Okay, so look at these 4 statements carefully and change it, and we're going to check the answer together. Please pause the video. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes and let's come back and check the answer together.
Number 1. A young woman named Cameron Holpeter fell on the subway tracks. Number 2. Wesley Altree jumped onto the tracks and pulled Cameron Holpeter back onto the platform. The 2 men got hurt by the subway train. Number 4. Wesley Altree thinks he is a hero. Okay. So please correct the false information and let's check the answer together.
Okay, let's check the answer together.
Okay, let's check the answer together. Number 1. A young man named Cameron Holpeter fell on the subway track. So it's not woman, it's a man. Number 2. Wesley Altree jumped onto the tracks and pushed Cameron Holpeter between the tracks. So it's not pulled, it's pushed and between the tracks. Number 3. The 2 men didn't get hurt by the subway train. So it was very lucky that they didn't get hurt. Number 4. Wesley Altree doesn't think he's a hero.
Okay, let's move on to next activity, details. Listen again and add to your notes. Choose the best answer to complete its statements. Use your notes to help you. Okay, so you took your notes down focusing on key points. Now moving on, we're going to look at more details. Okay, number 1 to number 9, there are some questions and focusing on details. Okay, please just look at and check your notes again. Okay, we are going to listen one more time. Listen again and focus on the questions and try to answer from number 1 to 9, and we're going to check the answer together.
Page 122. Listen.
What does the word hero mean to you? Maybe you think of superheroes or famous people who do great things. But what about everyday, ordinary people who help others? Are they heroes too? We begin tonight's program in New York, where Brad Peck has the story of the ordinary man that many people are now calling a hero.
It was a Tuesday afternoon at about 12:45, and subway riders were waiting on the platform for their train to arrive.
I was standing there waiting for my train when suddenly a young man fell down on the platform. A man and 2 women went over and helped him to get up. But then he fell down again, right onto the tracks.
The young man who fell onto the tracks that day was 20-year-old college student Cameron Holopater.
So this guy was just lying there on the tracks, and he couldn't get up. And then I saw that a train was coming. And then this man, I couldn't believe it, he just jumped down right onto the tracks.
The man who jumped onto the tracks was Wesley Autry, a 50-year-old construction worker who was waiting for a train with his 2 young daughters, ages 4 and 6. When he saw Mr. Holopater fall, he reacted immediately. He left his daughters with a woman on the platform, then jumped onto the subway tracks to help Mr. Holopater.
So at first, he tried to get the young guy back onto the platform, but he couldn't do it. So he pushed him into the small space between the tracks, and he lay down on top of him and held him down to keep him under the train. The train was coming fast into the station, and I just covered my eyes and waited. I thought they were both going to die.
The subway train arrived just 6 seconds after Wesley Autry jumped down on the tracks. 5 cars passed over the top of the 2 men less than 2 inches above Mr. Autry's head before it came to a stop.
It all happened so fast. I was afraid to open my eyes, but then I heard the man's voice from under the train calling out, "We're okay." They were both okay. It was amazing. The train passed right over both of them.
By acting quickly and holding the man down under the train, Wesley Autry saved Cameron Holopater's life. Richard, another subway rider who saw what happened, praised Mr. Autry's actions.
It was such a brave thing to do. I was just standing there on the platform. I couldn't move. It took a lot of courage for him to jump onto the train tracks like that. That guy should definitely get a reward for what he did.
Another subway rider, Emily, was concerned about the risk Mr. Autry took by leaving his 2 young daughters behind when he jumped onto the tracks.
I thought about those 2 young girls. They saw their daddy jump onto the tracks. I thought, would they lose their daddy right then and there? Oh my gosh, I'm just glad it turned out all right.
Later, when Mr. Autry was asked why he did it, he said he just saw someone who needed help and he did what he felt was right. He also thanked his mother, saying that she raised him to believe we should help people whenever we can. He didn't worry about getting hurt. He just thought about saving Cameron Holopater from that train.
So, it seems Wesley Autry doesn't see himself as a hero, just an ordinary guy who did the right thing. That may be true, but people in this community are now calling Wesley Autry the subway hero.
So I'll give you a few minutes. Please pause the video and solve the questions, and we'll check the answer. Okay, let's check the answer together. Number 1, Cameron Holopeter is a B, college student. Number 2, Wesley Autry is a B, 50-year-old construction worker. Number 3, Wesley Autry left his 2 daughters, B, with the woman on the platform. Number 4, the train arrived, B, 6 seconds after Wesley Autry jumped onto the tracks. Number 5, the subway train passed, B, less than 2 inches above Mr. Autry's head. Number 6, Richard thinks that jumping onto the subway tracks was A, brave. Number 7, Emily thought about C, Wesley Autry's daughters. Number 8, Wesley Autry didn't worry about C, getting hurt. Number 9, Wesley Autry said his A, mother raised him to help people.
Okay, how was it? It was still a long passage, but you did a really good job. Okay, please correct your answer if you got some questions wrong. Okay, if you got it all right, good job. Okay, now let's move on to the next page, 124. Make inferences. Inferring feelings from tone and word choice. Okay, so we've talked about inference, right? We talk about hidden meaning, we're sometimes hiding some meanings and, make a joke and make it humorous. We sometimes use different intonations, sometimes we raise it, we make it fall down, and, depending on our intonation and tone, the questions can be, understood in a different way. Okay, so let's talk about inference in more details. An inference is a guess about something that is not said directly. We can often guess speakers' feeling by the tone or sound of their voice. For example, tone of voice shows if a speaker is happy, sad, angry, surprised, or worried. We can also guess feelings by the words that speakers use. Now let's go to the example. So let's listen to the example.
Page 124. Make inferences. Example.
So this guy was just lying there on the tracks, and he couldn't get up. And then I saw that a train was coming. And then this man, I couldn't believe it, he just jumped down right onto the tracks.
Okay, so how was the example? Were you able to guess how the speaker is feeling? So in this example, the speaker uses a surprised tone of voice. She also used the words, I couldn't believe it, to show that the action surprised her. I couldn't believe it. It means that, she is indicating that she was kind of shocked. She was surprised. It's unbelievable, right? Okay. Now we're going to listen to 3 other excerpts from the report. After each one, check the adjective that describes the speaker's tone of voice and write down words that show how the speaker was feeling. Okay, so is she surprised? Is she worried? How does she feel? How does it feel? And what's the sentences? What's the word that show, that indicate her feelings? Okay, let's sketch it out.
Page 124. Make inferences. Excerpt 1.
The train was coming fast into the station, and I just covered my eyes and waited. I thought they were both going to die.
Excerpt 2.
It all happened so fast. I was afraid to open my eyes, but then I heard the man's voice from under the train calling out, "We're okay." They were both okay. It was amazing. The train passed right over both of them.
Excerpt 3.
I thought about those two young girls. They saw their daddy jump onto the tracks. I thought, would they lose their daddy right then and there? Oh my gosh, I'm just glad it turned out all right.
Okay, let's check the answer together. Excerpt 1. Tone of voice is worried. And words to show feeling is covered my eyes and waited. Thought they were both going to die. Excerpt 2. The tone of voice is surprise. And words to show feeling is it was amazing. Number 3. Excerpt 3. The tone of voice is worried. And words to show feeling is oh my gosh. Okay, so please check your answer and correct it.
Okay, now moving on, discuss. Work in a small group, read the questions, discuss your ideas. So there are 3 questions that we're going to go over together based on the listening activities that we have just finished. Okay, so think about the question. You don't have to, give me the answer directly. But, as you read these questions, you can think about, okay, how could you react? Okay, so let's go over the questions together.
Number 1. What risk did Wesley Autry take to save Cameron Hollow-Peters' life? Would you do it? Why or why not? Number 2. How did the subway riders Richard and Emily feel about Mr. Autry's actions? Which person do you most agree with? Why? Number 3. What reasons did Wesley Autry give for risking his life to help another person? Do you think most people would do the same? Why or why not? Please pause the video, think about these 3 questions, and speak out, and please answer the questions. This is for your practice, so make sure you open your mouth and answer.
Okay, now let's move on to page 125, listening to psychology. Vocabulary. Read the message May wrote to her friend Lynn. Notice the bold-faced word. Try to guess their meanings. Okay, so there is a conversation between Lynn and May. Okay, so we're going to read this conversation together. Okay, and just try to figure out what they are talking about. Okay, Lynn. Hey May, how's your summer going? Hi Lynn, it's going great. I found an awesome summer job at a camp for kids called Hero Camp. No, we don't climb buildings or fight criminals. Haha, so what do you do? The goal is to teach kids to show concern for others. I'm responsible for a group of 9 and 10-year-olds. Every day we volunteer to help out in the community. Yesterday we cleaned up trash in the park, and tomorrow we're going to help some elderly people with housework. Next week we're going to an animal shelter. Here's a photo of the kids cleaning up the park. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, the kids are so excited to go to the animal shelter. They're learning the value of being kind and unselfish. And I'm learning that I love working with kids. I think it's in my genes since my parents are teachers too. I'm not surprised. How about you? How's your summer going? And Lynn is speechless. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes. Please read this conversation. Okay, you have to speak out. Okay. Okay, so how was this conversation? They're talking about how they spend their summer. Maybe they're in the summer vacation, summer break, and May is spending the summer in a really productive and just helpful way. Okay, so May is participating in a camp called Hero Camp. May is helping out the kids who are about 9 to 10 years old, and kids are supposed to volunteer for the community. For example, they clean up the park, they're helping elderly. Elderly means old people, right? Older people. And they also help animals. So May is really happy about, just the feeling of helping kids. How about Lynn? Lynn wasn't, actually involved in any special activities during the summer. So Lynn was very speechless, right? Okay. So we read the conversation and went over the meanings of this conversation together. Now let's move on to number 2. Write the bold-faced word next to the correct definition. So there are some bold-faced words, right? Show concern for, responsible for, volunteer, unselfish, genes. Okay? 5 new words. You're going to match the definitions together and we're going to check the answer together.
Okay, so this is the answers. Number 1 is genes, small parts of cells that come from our parents and affect our characteristics. Number 2, responsible for, having the job or duty to take care of someone or something. Number 3 is unselfish, caring about other people and putting their needs before your own. Number 4, to offer to do something without getting paid or being told you must do it. Number 5, show concern for, to demonstrate a feeling of worries. Please change your answer if you didn't get it right, okay?
Okay, so we learned the new vocabularies for this chapter too. So every time we go over new vocabs and phrases and expressions, I hope you get, use these expressions and vocabularies for the futures, okay, and apply to your conversation and speaking skills. Now let's move on, and we're going to go to page 126. Okay, we're going to continue note-taking skills. Okay, note-taking skill is important again for your tests in the future. But not only that, if you know how to take your notes well, it'll also improve your speaking skills, okay, listening skills, and also writing skills too. Last time I showed a small video clip on how to write. Okay, so writing is very important for your just future job as well. If you know how to write, that means you know how to just organize your ideas in English too. Okay, so let's go over note-taking skills. Organizing your notes with numbers. Okay, when speakers tell a story or talk about past events, they talk about the events in the order that they happen. Using numbers 1, 2, 3, etc. to organize your notes can help you to write down and remember the events in the correct order. Okay, so words that introduce the time order of events. For example, you're giving one topic sentence and you're giving 3 reasons. And if you use, this word that shows time order of events, it kind of organizes your ideas and it's easier and clear for reader to read. For example, first, second, third, next. So for each paragraph, maybe that shows the reasons or examples for topic sentence, you can use first and then its reason. Okay, for next paragraph, you can say second and goes on. Other transitional words can be then, later, when, before, after, and finally. In lectures, speakers often list items. Using numbers can help you to organize all of the items in your notes in the correct order. Okay, so there are also additional lists. For example, there are 4 things. The first, one thing, another things. The second is, in addition. The third is, finally. The final is. So this is very important, not only for your speaking or, taking note skill, but also for your presentation and writing skills. So if you know how to use these words that show the, order of events, it becomes, clear and easy for readers or listeners to, understand your points. Okay. So now let's go into more details of this transitional word. I'll show you more example. Here you go.
Page 126. Note-taking skill. Exercise 1.
Well, in my opinion, there are 4 characteristics of a hero. First of all, heroes help others in need. In addition, heroes make the choice to help out because they want to, not because it is required or because someone told them to do it. Third, heroes help others even when there are risks. Finally, heroes help others even when there is no reward for their actions.
Page 126. Note-taking skill. Exercise 2.
Did you hear what happened on the subway?
No. What happened?
Well, first, a young guy fell down on the tracks.
Oh, no!
I know, scary, huh? But right after he fell, this man, they call him the subway hero, he jumped on the tracks to save him. Then he held the young guy down between the tracks. Next, within seconds, the train came into the station, but it didn't hit them. They're both okay.
That's amazing!
Okay, let's check the answer together. Characteristics of heroes. Number 1, help others in need. Number 2, second, help because they want to. They're not told to. Number 3, help when they're in risk. Number 4, help when there is no reward. Number 2, subway incident. First, guy fell on tracks. Second, subway hero jumped down to save him. Third, help guy between tracks. Number 4, train came but didn't hit them. Please check your answer.
Okay, so that was it for page 126. Moving on, let's go to page 127, comprehension. Listen to a psychology lecture on autism. Create a chart like the one below to take notes. Try to use numbers to note events or list. Okay, so we're going to listen to a psychology lecture, okay, and then take notes down, okay. Remember, you focus on your key points for main ideas and also details.
Page 127. Comprehension.
Today, I'd like to talk about altruism. Altruism simply means showing an unselfish concern for others. In other words, altruism means caring for and helping others without thinking about ourselves. So, altruism can mean doing something brave, such as saving someone from a fire, or it can mean doing something simple, like holding the door open for a stranger, or giving a homeless person some money to buy food. The important point is that you're showing concern for others. Does that make sense? The problem is that many people don't volunteer to help others, especially in dangerous situations. In fact, most people just do nothing. Research shows that only about 20% of people will take risks to help others. We also know that some people are more likely to help others in their everyday lives. But why is that? Why do some people help out and others don't? Well, we don't know for sure, but there's research that shows several possible factors. One possible factor is the situation we are in. For example, we are much more likely to help someone we know, like a friend or family member, than a stranger. We are also more likely to help when we are alone compared to when we are in a crowd. For example, if an accident happens, most people usually watch and wait for other people to help out first. But if no one else is there, they are more likely to do something. Another possible factor is our genes. One study in Germany found that people who have a certain gene are more likely to help others, for example, by giving money to those in need. So maybe some people are just born to help others. A third possible factor is our personality, the kind of person we are. For example, research shows that people who have positive attitudes, people who expect good things to happen, are also more likely to help others. This could be because they expect that things will turn out okay. Finally, it may also be the way we are raised. Some people are raised by their families to help others, to feel responsible for others, and to show concern for them. Okay, so those are some of the factors that explain altruistic behavior. So now, let's look at some different kinds of altruism.
Altruism is showing unselfish concern for others. For example, caring for others, not thinking about ourselves. Details: doing brave or simple acts. For example, saving from a fire or holding door, giving a homeless person some money. Many people don't volunteer, only 20% take risks to help. Main idea: why do some people help and others don't? Possible factors. Number 1, situation. More likely to help people we know, for example, friends and family, not a stranger. When alone and not in crowd. Second, genes. People with certain genes help more than others. Third, personally, kind of person, for example, people with positive attitudes more likely to help. Expect things will be okay. Fourth, way we are raised. Parents teach some to be responsible for others.
Okay, so now we compare your answer and my notes as an example together. Your answer can be, different from mine. Don't worry, this is just an example. I think your note-taking skill is improving as we practice more and more. Okay, so good job. And now let's move on to number 2. Still the same page, 127. Identify if the statements below are true or false. Use your notes to help you. Write true or false. Correct the false statements. Okay, so there are 8 statements, okay, from the lecture of psychology. Okay, so just for your understanding and to help you, we're going to listen one more time. Please listen one more time. Okay, take your notes down if you didn't, just write fully, okay, for the previous time, and check your answer. Write T for true and F for false. Okay. Okay, now we're going to check the answer together.
Number 1. Altruism means showing concern for ourselves and others. This is false. It shows concern for only others. Number 2. Holding the door for someone or giving money to a homeless person are examples of altruism. This is true. Number 3. Only about 40% of people take risk to help others. This is false. Only 20% of people take risk to help others. Number 4. We are more likely to help strangers than we are to help people we know. This is false. This is vice versa. More likely to help people that we know, not strangers. Number 5, we're more likely to help those in need when we are in a crowd of people. This is also false. We're more likely to help people when we're alone, right? Not in a crowd. Number 6, a study in Germany found that people who are born with a certain gene are more likely to give money to help others. This is true. Number 7, people who have positive attitudes are less likely to help others. This is false. People who have positive attitudes are more likely to help. Last one, number 8. The way people are raised may be a factor in altruistic behavior. This is true. Please check your answer.
Okay, so we finished listening activities of Unit 6, okay? And we talk about different heroes, everyday heroes. So characteristic of heroes were interesting, and it was actually very easy to understand. We also listened to an activity on psychology lecture. So do you have a better understanding on what hero is and what autism is? Okay. So for next lesson, we're going to move on to speaking part, the speaking activity of the same chapter, Unit 6. Okay. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. You can send me an email. Also, you can ask your friends in a group chat together. Okay. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.